Hey everyone, thanks for joining. Of course, here with Kurt. Pretty exciting times. I know a headache bouncing around, but finally, brand capital Times of India, closes, and we're finally moving forward. Kurt, first things first, how are you?
I'm fantastic, Jason. How are you? I'm down at the desert pad, so I've got a different background than usual.
Yeah,
It's only
no, I'm
about
good.
only
I'm
about
good.
41 degrees Celsius here today, so it's a cool day here.
Ooh. Yeah, just a cool day. No, love it, love it. Well, you must have hopefully you're able to sleep better the previous few nights, without this headache. I know we've talked about it a few times. I know you've answered a ton of questions, but finally we get the check mark. Everything's good and moving forward. I saw a lot of questions for people maybe that have no idea or they're recent, kind of supporters. We want to kind of talk about what this, I guess,
Yeah,
partnership is, and we'll go from there.
sure. So the Times Group of India is a 187-year-old media company. It's one of the largest media companies in the world. Certainly, is the largest overall media company in India. Um, they own the biggest newspapers, the equivalents. They own the equivalent of the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, and Chicago Tribune, and all the big newspapers. They are most of the big newspapers. They own television stations. They own hundreds of radio stations. They own outdoor billboards. They own digital assets, including MX Player. So they're a massive media conglomerate. They have for about a decade or so, maybe longer, maybe 2 decades, I'm not exactly sure, have been making investments through a strategic arm of theirs, which they call brand capital, which is literally helping companies that are coming into the Indian market to establish their brand identity in the India market. What's in it for them? Well, what's in it for them is two things. One is they invest and get equity in a company. They help that company become more successful in the India market. The stock and value of that company goes up. They make more money than they would have made if you just walked in the door and paid for all the advertising at rate card. So it's a bet that they make based upon strategic partnerships for companies that they think can do really well in the Indian market. I mean, they just they do that for any company that comes in the door. A it's like a venture strategic investment arm of the company. A company like Uber, when they went into India, Brand Capital and Times Group came in as an investor into Uber. So they're taking non-endemic Indian companies and putting them into the marketplace, and that's what they did with us. Frankly, when they made the decision back in March to do that with us, that was based on the prospect of what we were telling the world we were going to do. Now, a lot of what we were telling the world we were going to do back in March when we did this deal has actually come true, and even come true at a greater level than what they thought. Ironically, the original deal was done at 28 cents. They actually, because of the timing and what happened and the pricing, they invested into this round at 32 cents. Because that was the price that was locked in when we had to get governmental regulatory approval. And most people are familiar that if Google and Microsoft were merging, they would have to get, or if Rogers and Bell were merging, they would have to get government approval for it because of monopolistic practices, et cetera, et cetera. This wasn't about any monopoly. It's just because of foreign direct investment coming in and all the investment stuff, the Reserve Bank of India has to approve that. That got hung up for months and months longer than any of us anticipated. So it was a pain in the ass. It was hard to explain it to investors. There was nothing that was sort of wrong. That's why I kept telling people, no, I'm just like looking at my watch and watching the clock go around and waiting. We finally got approval. The deal is done, and we're off to the races.
Yeah, love it. No, a good overview for anyone who hasn't, kind of, I guess, heard of it before. And I know this happened back in March. We were doing a ton of videos about it, and extremely exciting. I kind of want to go over as well, like, maybe is there anything you could talk about why they chose you guys, and then also maybe we'll talk about what's in it for the queue.
Yeah, I think, look, there a lot of their uh, investments, not 100% of them, but a lot of them are oriented towards what I would call B2C businesses, businesses that can leverage their expertise in promoting and marketing a company to Indian consumers, which obviously you do through radio, television, print, digital, and outdoor. That's where they live. So So they do look for companies that are trying to make, a big move in that sort of B2C business case situation. MX Player, which has become the second largest, or maybe it is the largest platform, I'm not exactly sure, in the over-the-top space in India, is owned by the Times Group now. They initially made investments. Tencent became one of their big investors, the Chinese company, and now they're part of the whole Times Group organization. We're already in business with MX Player, but we're actually looking to increase the depth and breadth of our relationship with them, and having a strategic alliance through the Times Group thing can only help accelerate that. So, it truly is strategic money coming into the company. This isn't for just, some sort of Bay Street investor or Wall Street investor just putting cash in and saying, okay, I hope the stock goes up 50 or 100%. These are people that want to leverage their strategic capabilities to help make that happen, which is good for all investors. It's good for them. It's good for all the rest of us. So I think that's an important piece. And now I've forgotten what your second question was.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. They're getting skin in the game. On the other side, it was kind of what's in it for the Q.
Well, for us, a lot of things. First one is, in the India marketplace, there's no more sort of blue chip, revered, company than the Times Group. The Times Group is kind of as old school. It's like the royal family or something. It's like these guys have been around through the British Empire, exiting the British Empire, in India, and the whole deal. So the real name of the company, and I'll get it wrong, it's BCCL, which is Bennett Coleman. I've forgotten the other name, Limited or something, but it's almost steeped in the old English British style of doing things. So there's a lot of history there. And so the point of all of that is that the validation of Times Group being a strategic investor in your company in India is huge. It's a huge validator for us. Second thing is if you have the largest media and company on your side trying to help you build your brand there, that's about as good as you can get in terms of having a asset that you can leverage on a go forward basis. So there's a lot that we plan on doing. I mean, we'll probably be talking more specifically here in the in the immediate future about what we're doing on a marketing level. Some of the people that follow us might have seen that we just hired a head of marketing in India. She's not starting a minute too soon, or a minute too late rather, because now we've got the ability to leverage all this stuff. So yeah, we're I've probably spoken on here before about the fact that we've done a lot of this organically and never with any real marketing push. Well, that's all just it's literally changing in real time right now.
Yeah, I saw people asking questions. I know hard to talk about. Maybe we'll wait until you guys have a program kind of nailed down. But people asking, oh well, what do we expect is going to happen through marketing, and kind of what are the goals of the marketing campaign and things like that. Up
Yeah,
to you if you want to wait for another time.
yeah, I want to wait. I want to wait. There's actually one campaign that we did run, which was quasi a marketing campaign that I haven't spoken about. I'm gonna hold that one back for the moment and probably talk about that next week or the following. That I think people will be pretty blown away with what happened with that. Now that we've got this relationship and we've got Sujata, who's awesome in the company now to lead the marketing charge. You'll see a lot of that happening in big ways between now and the end of this year, and obviously into next year.
Yeah, no, awesome. I saw some people saying too, might help, revenue for the Q if a lot of the brand capital, clients are other customers that could also be Q customers. So kind of,
Yeah, there's definitely synergy. There's definitely synergies there too between other strategic investee companies in their portfolio for sure. For sure.
Yeah, there's a good little couple dots to connect there. Well, awesome. Well, again, I know this was a battle. Congratulations to yourself and the team, and I'm excited to see kind of what some marketing programs look like. Anything you wanted to add on top?
I mean, the only other thing is Neville Taraporwala, who is a veteran of the media space and investment space in India, is joining as a board observer. I know some people have chatted about, oh, well, is Times going to buy them or this, that, or the other thing. There's nothing around that's sort of even certain or thought of. I mean, look, they're investors like any other investors. They're investing because they believe that we're going to be worth a hell of a lot more money going forward than we are today, which is what we all believe. So they're there to stand by us as a pure investor, and they're there to stand by us to help us. And so it's a win-win for everybody. It's a win for them. It's a win for the company. It's a win for our shareholders.
Yeah, no, awesome. Well, love it. Look, excited to see the kind of marketing programs that get put together and kind of what your hopes, dreams are for some of these, and looking forward to chatting again soon.
I told everybody this was going to happen. A lot of people didn't believe me, but patience.
it
Okay,
it
good seeing you,
pays to be
Jason.
patient. Love
Yeah,
it. Well,
exactly.
Kurt, thanks so much.
Okay, talk to you soon.